Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Abigail if you're new. I wanted to give a couple of updates. Kind of talk about what's been going on, maybe give a little bit more information about some things that's been going on because I thought I explained it well, but I've also been getting a lot of questions about a video that I posted. I guess it was a few days ago, so I want to answer those questions. So, the first thing is that in a few days I have a dentist appointment. I have a few teeth that need to be looked at, and I gotta get a cleaning. Let's see, how do I word this? We did have like this really good dentist, and then it didn't take my insurance for a while, and now it takes my insurance. So I'll be going there, and I think they're going to do some x-rays and a cleaning. I have a few teeth that need to be looked at so we can see why they're crooked. They need to be fixed. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was whenever I was talking about my heart rate stuff here a while back, I had said that I was on a heart monitor for a while, for like 2 weeks, and then the heart doctor couldn't really figure out what was wrong, and he sent me home with just symptoms, not a diagnosis. And whenever I went to go see my regular doctor, she took me off my depression med because she thought that maybe my depression med was causing an issue. Well, I've been off of it for like a couple of days now, and I have not seen any progress or any difference so far. I go back next month to see her again, and we'll see, do we need to try another medication or a test, or whatever my regular doctor decides. We're not really sure what's wrong at the moment. So I'm honestly not really sure what I have. I don't know. It's been kind of hard to figure out, and it's been kind of frustrating because even after I take my meds, after the medication wears off, I'm back to feeling bad or heart racing and feel like I'm gonna faint. So after it wears off the second time, I'm on it twice a day. If it wears off the second time, it is kind of hard. Where I guess my doctor said that whenever I talk to her that she would be thinking of things that might can help while we're trying to figure out exactly what to do. So right now we don't really have very clear answers. So I guess I don't really know what I have, honestly. I'm trying to think of what other update. Me, my little brother, and my mom today went to Family Dollar today and got my little brother's Valentine's gifts. for his class. We got that done today. Plus, it was good to get out of the house. And what else happened? That's like interesting. One of the things that I've struggled with being on a feeding tube, and you can let me know down in the comments down below if you've struggled with this, if you're on a feeding tube as well. But like, okay, so my extension hooks to my feeding tube button, which my feeding tube bag hooks to the extension, and that's how I get my feedings. It can be like kind of uncomfortable when you're trying to wear something comfortable out, like in public. When I say something comfortable, I mean finding, how do I word this? Finding something to wear that you can put over your extension that doesn't like look poofy or feel poofy. It's been one of the struggles that I've had because like my size in itself, I don't really consider myself to be a very big person, but with the extension being the way it is, it makes it feel really weird. And especially like how clothes like already fit a certain way, and then you like have the extension, which is like, okay, so anyways, like I was saying, like whenever you have a feeding tube extension, which is, you know, what hooks from the button to your feeding tube bag, and basically what makes everything work together to make your pump work, it can be really uncomfortable. And I feel like that it can kind of make it feel like poofier than if you didn't have an extension, which, I mean, you have to have the extension because that's what makes it work. But like, I don't know, it's really been a struggle, because I feel like it looks like poofier than it should. So then sometimes, depending on what I'm wearing, I have to put layers on. Like, for example, some of my church outfits need like an undershirt. So then I'll put like a layer on, and then it just like adds to the poofiness. It's really a struggle. So I think that that's one of my like main struggles that I'm dealing with right now with my feeding tube, is that just how it's made, and you know, wearing it all the time, it makes it look poofier. It makes like my shirt look a little poofier, and I don't know, it just, I think it kind of looks a little different. But I mean, I've had my feeding tube since April of last year, so I'm like kind of used to it, but there's like so much about having a feeding tube that's just different. There'll be like sometimes I don't know, I'll change into something that like has more layers to it. And I'm like, that looks like really poofy. Then I'm like, oh, it's just the extension. So I don't know. It's really been a struggle. Because I feel like sometimes even with like a plain T-shirt, sometimes it can still look poofy, and it's like our another struggle that I've had is wearing dresses. I really like wearing dresses, and so um, obviously having a feeding tube makes that difficult. So I actually made a hole in my dress. Actually, I think my mom did it for me. Cut a hole in my dress so that I could run the extension through my dress so that I could wear a dress, because I really missed wearing dresses. So that's one of the struggles about having a feeding tube, is there's some clothes that you have to kind of make a little different to work out in your situation. And there's also sometimes some clothes can feel poofier just because of how the extension is. So that can be a little difficult. So it's just some things that I have learned with having a feeding tube. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye, everyone.